Got a little bad news. So it's 1:30, I've been driving an hour and a half, and my car was giving me a warning message saying, like, tires need air now. Like, very urgently. Like, it doesn't just say low on air. I've had that message before. This time it went from, like, no warning at all to tires need air now. And it's like, what the hell happened to my tires? I'm at a tire shop. So, I ran over a nail. The police, there happened to be a police chief at the gas station who's like, oh, I know where the local tire shop is. So he escorted me to the tire shop. There's no one else here, so I'm whispering, so I don't seem weird for vlogging.
Okay, what's your number?
So I'm in Atlanta, Texas, with a nail in my tire, but they said they think they can fix it, so hopefully it'll be good. And there's like no other customer here right now, so I don't have to wait. So that's awesome. It's 5:30. I am a half hour behind, thanks to the tire and thanks to this stupid navigation system not knowing that the hotel changed their address and thought it was a fake address. Guess what that building is? My first time trying Zaxby's. So, today was not a day of healthy eating. Between a biscuit for breakfast, the barbecue for lunch, and now Zaxby's. I swear I'm getting a salad. I swear. Yeah, I'm gonna get some fried stuff, but I am gonna get a salad in addition to fried stuff. Okay, in the hotel room, having Zaxby's for the first time. Let me show you the food. This was, I don't know what it's called, some sort of combo. Coleslaw, fries, not very crisp, chicken, better than Church's, salad. Let's dig into the coleslaw. I had coleslaw for lunch at that barbecue place and there was cilantro in it. So I feel like this is my first true coleslaw of the day. It's got flavor. At least half the places with coleslaw don't have flavor. Let's see a Zaxby's sauce. I have no idea what this is even supposed to taste like. I still have no idea what that's supposed to taste like. Let's try honey mustard. Let's try the ranch. It was more mustardy than honey mustard. Did not like it. Try fry with it. It's not easy to film without a tripod and just a cell phone. The toast is better than Cane's. The chicken is better than Church's. Oh, there's a salad too. Forgot. I've been eating like crap on the road. Gotta have a salad. Blue cheese dressing. Oh, there's no carrots. Cheese cheese instead of carrot. Oh, there is carrots. My mistake. There's just barely noticeable carrots. Definitely not a fan of the fries. Definitely a fan of the bread and the chicken and the coleslaw and the salad. So everything was really good except that honey mustard and the fries. Solid. It was so close to the hotel. Speaking of which, you don't hear any noise from the road. So much quieter than the last place. In Tyler, you could hear like every frickin' motorcycle driving past. This place is quiet. Free parking garage in Hot Springs. Free is good. It gets dark. Might be some scenic stuff to see. There's a lot of bars and restaurants in this area, which I'm not the slightest bit interested in, so I don't drink. And I had Zaxby's. I was just in a very energetic rock shop, which made it really hard to get a feel for the vibe I was getting from the Stones. They had some nice stuff. It was a pricey place though. Tourist stuff driving up the prices. This place has the most socks I've ever seen. More socks. In case the sound quality was too bad before when I was by the fountain, I found this to be anticlimactic compared to the Stockyards. Stockyards wowed me. This was just like lame. So back to the car. Free parking's awesome. I don't know, I'd rather pay 15 bucks to park somewhere in an awesome place than park for free somewhere lame, actually. Much needed car wash. Now it's not gonna be gross to open my doors in my trunk to like have to get my stuff out of the car, because pretty much everything that I have is in my car. And having filth all over my hands every single time I'd have to get something got old. All right, was that better? So this is the normal icing. They have a lot of different options. So this was the normal icing, and I got an extra side of cream cheese icing, so it's like a double icing concoction, combination, whatever. But like, yeah, so that was interesting. It's like takeout with a show. Watch someone get kicked out of, two people actually. It was like some guy and some chick that got kicked out. They came back though with their masks on. So for all the business owners out there who are like, I'm afraid I'll lose business if I enforce the mask policy, they're like, if you're good enough, people will get kicked out and come back with their masks on. They did come back with their masks. First bite. Very sweet with the icing. Not a lot of cinnamon going on. Let me go in the middle. See that? The middle's got the cinnamon. And I guess from a business perspective, this is like a cinnamon roll shop. There's no other cinnamon roll shop in town. So yeah, if people want it bad enough, they will even come back with their masks. See the middle? All right, I'm already starting to criticize it. I am not one of those fake positivity people. The middle has a ton of cinnamon, and then as you get closer to the outside, there's not so much cinnamon. I could go to the grocery store and like buy some cinnamon. I haven't had Ann Sather's since October of 2019. I don't remember how much I liked it. It's like I could actually do 2 reviews. I could review the middle where all the cinnamon is, and then I can review the outside where there's like almost no cinnamon. Let me do a little close-up to prove my point. It's not my plan to eat this whole thing all at once. I did order a sandwich. I'm gonna stop. Okay, the fact that I'm like having to like put my foot down and be like, I'm gonna stop eating it, that's a high compliment. Being on the road and having all this irregularity with schedule and everything has been like really terrible for sleep and for eating, and just I end up hangry, and then by the time I have any food, I'm like, it's gonna kill me to go 2 more minutes without eating, so I'm not gonna set up for a mukbang or anything. Can't have that keep happening. I don't really know, like I do not have a planned itinerary. I still need to figure out like getting some groceries and cooking myself some stuff, but I don't want to go to a grocery store during the day, even though according to Dr. Fauci it's safe to do so. I am a little skeptical because I'm kind of like wondering, is this based on the premise that the people who are unvaccinated are wearing masks and following guidelines? Because they're not. Like guidelines and then the change of the guidelines, like nothing looks any different because people already weren't following them in the South and in rural areas. Like people already weren't following them. They were non-existent, never enforced, never followed. So it's like he changed the guidelines and like nothing is any different in the real world. And yeah, if it's based on any sort of premises or assumptions about like unvaccinated people actually following those guidelines, we've got a fucking problem with these assumptions. Because like maybe in his neck of the woods people follow guidelines. That is like absolutely not the case in a lot of America. So yeah, if the only way it's safe to be unmasked if you're vaccinated is if everyone's following the guidelines, and like the only reason you could change the guidelines is because you assumed people were actually following them to begin with, like we've got a problem with these assumptions because it's like not how things are happening. So I emailed my immunologist on my chart and was like, I'm a little confused about this. Like, is this based on certain assumptions? Because like if that's the case, like those assumptions are not happening. Like I hope they're not assuming unmasked people are or like unvaccinated people are actually wearing masks and social distancing, because that's like not happening. Things were unraveling like before this happened. Like you don't actually think people are following the guidelines to begin with, right? Because the fact that they're changing the guidelines and think that that's significant kind of implies they think people were following them to begin with, but they're not. So like yeah, let me do that again. I think that would make a good soundbite. Like, if the whole point of them changing the guidelines is based on the premise that they thought people were actually following the guidelines to begin with, that just shows you how out of touch they are, because people weren't following the guidelines to begin with. So changing the guidelines literally had no effect on anything, because people weren't following them to begin with. So anyways, that's life when you're immunodeficient and living in rural parts of the South and the Southwest. People weren't following the guidelines to begin with, so when you change the guidelines, literally nothing looks any different. Just picked up my sandwich. I'm gonna eat it in the hotel room where it's more comfortable. And interestingly, another person came in with no mask on just to get coffee. And they enforced it as well. And with coffee, you could go anywhere and get coffee. So even though it's a cinnamon shop, it's the only cinnamon shop, you can't just go somewhere else to get the cinnamon rolls. You could go anywhere else to get coffee. He still put the mask on and ordered a coffee. So for all the business owners who are afraid they'll go out of business just because of the mask policy getting enforced, you are wrong. Like, if you actually have a good product that people want, like, people will just put the mask on and do it. And it shows, like, enforce your damn boundaries. Like, being a coward who has boundaries and never enforces them does not work. And it can work if you just have the courage to enforce it. Back in the hotel room, let's check out that sandwich. Thick. No tomato. And then Zaxby's coleslaw. Take a bite out of it. It's not gonna fit in my mouth. Pretty straightforward and standard. Not sure how much I can say about it. Maybe not worth waiting 15 minutes for, but not terrible. So I'm gonna eat my lunch, which is kind of also my breakfast, and watch some YouTube videos. All right, so I've digested my lunch, kind of burped up some vomit, so I think this living on the road, eating crap thing has caught up with me. So definitely got to get some groceries this evening when the grocery store won't be crowded. I'm gonna go on a hike. I can't find my calf compression sleeves, and it's like, what, 45% humidity and 81 degrees today. So that's like not the most super comfortable thing, especially burping up vomit, because I do have a tendency to overheat. So I'm gonna take it really easy and just not have this turn out like Enchanted Rock, which was like miserable, where I still have, the burns are getting a lot better. It's been well over a week. It was like, what, 2 Tuesdays ago? It's looking a lot better. Not gonna get burned on top of a burn. So the traffic was extremely bad. I decided to go the opposite direction. I'll go to the national park some other time. I'm gonna go to the Woodland Gardens now. So let's check out the Woodland Gardens. The parking lot is pretty full. And since this place isn't free, unlike the national park, which is free, if it's this full and it's not free, then I cannot imagine how crowded it must be at the free park. So hopefully it's not, hopefully it's just the parking that's crowded. It's not like the whole place. We'll see. So this was a good pick for today in the afternoon. I thought it was gonna be really hot out. Like, I'm used to Central Texas where there's no shade and you're just in the open and the sun's beating down on you. There's trees everywhere. So you're in the shade and that makes it a lot cooler. These are the bonsai trees. Anyways, it's nice and cool and shaded here. In Central Texas, the sun would just be beating down on you. So I guess that's the bonsai selection. Let's look for something else. This is the koi pond. Check it out. I'm in some other part of the garden. It sounds like there's like a dance party happening. No idea what's going on. I don't know if my phone is smart enough to filter out the music in the background. Someone's having a loud party. This is supposed to be like a serene place. It's not that serene. Thought, like, wouldn't it be funny if it wasn't even a party? Like, what if it was just one person who's like, I like my music loud? It's like, you think it's a party, it's only one person. The music is coming from behind me. I think it's where the water is. It might be a boat party. But I can also tell there's like two different sources of music. One is rap and the other is like Taylor Swift. Note to self, next time visiting a nature place that's on a lake, don't do it on the weekend because that's when the boat parties are. I think that was a successful trip. Got some nice memories of the koi pond. That was definitely the best part, was the koi. And let's do an outro when it's over a month later and I'm just starting to edit the video because life on the road has been like that. Be good to your mucous membrane so you're not burping up vomit. Peace out. Bye.